Warmly welcome to this discussion here, and we are today at the University of Western Cape University here in South Africa, and with me I have
I'm Father Filippo Ferraro, the Executive Director of Scalabrinicapetown Institute for Human Mobility in Africa.
Daniel Tevera, Professor of Geography at the University of the Western Cape.
Prof. Gabriel Tati. I'm in the Department of Statistics and Population Studies here at the University of Western Cape.
And I'm Cecilia Christersson. I'm the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Global Engagement and Challenge-Based Learning at Malmö University in Sweden.
Professor Mulugeta Dinbabo, the Acting Director, Institute for Social Development at the University of Western Cape, and the Chief Editor of African Human Mobility Review.
really interesting. And how is it that two universities, one from Sweden and one from South Africa, are together in a session like this?
Well, we are here as part of our University of the Western Cape Migration Mobility niche function. And it's really good that we have your university, University of Malmö, which is well established in terms of migration studies. So, we had very good presentations, and I'm inspired.
One subject was also about NGOs, and I know that you are working a lot with NGOs in Malmö.
Yes, I think that was actually the theme of the presentation today, is how we engage civic society and the issues related to migration on research and innovation. And I added on in the presentation the dimension of education, because that is also an important dimension when you want to change society. And we had a really good, I think, discussions around establishing that migration is something that we will live with for all the time, but we also must look upon the migration as a resource for a change of society. So there is an enormous possibility to see how migration can be used for the good of society. So, and I think there were examples from all the presenters here on that.
But you are not a professor, but you have been studying and are academic, but you're a father.
I feel half and half, even if, I study pastoral theology of migration, but I don't feel myself so into the academic role, but more than into the NGOs and social project field. And it was amazing this morning we can interact, and so how many opportunities and possibilities we can have when the research starts from listening to those who are the real needs of migrants, and how effective and fruitful can be the work of NGOs when they start from a serious and accurate research.
But are you all in a part of this source of Research and Innovation Week, and you will go to Stellenbosch after this seminar here?
Yeah, personally, I will be attending the, how do you call it, the SASF seminar research, I think, from Thursday to Friday. So I was planning to join the group this afternoon, but I was informed that there will be no transport coming back, and I changed my plan. But overall, concerning this meeting, it has been very enriching. My expectation was to see many non-academic organizations. Unfortunately, we are just one, Scalabrini, but we have learned a lot about how the synergy with things that we are doing meet the things that we are doing. And it was a very enriching symposium, personally. I have enjoyed it. I've learned also a lot. Thanks.
One of the things that you were speaking about, Cecilia, was the triple helix, it's called, but you had another model of how we can work together, the NGOs, the academia, and other organizations. Could you tell us more about that?
We left the triple helix, which was a very simple model, going into understanding what's driving change in society. And I think this is one model that we can use, because it has been used in the climate change challenges, where it's obvious that economical positions in society as well as politicians need to be involved in the process of the change. And as you talked about the importance, and you also stressing that, which I also brought up, is the power who actually has the research question to be put. And if you include citizens, if you include migrants that has the outlook from their perspective, if they are a part of the definition of the research question, I think that is a starting point that is absolutely necessity. And that is actually to change how universities works and how we look upon research as an integrated model in society.
Do you believe that migration and the NGOs can work together? The NGOs can help us with migrations questions?
This is interesting. I think all stakeholders, NGOs, civil societies, academicians, researchers, they must come on board. Recently, I think like few years ago, we have signed a formal memorandum of understanding between SIMA, Scalabrinicapetown Institute of Human Mobility, and the University of the Western Cape. It was started at the beginning of 2014. The model, the experience which we received from this partnership could be like a model, or it can be replicated somewhere else in Sweden or in other parts of Africa as well. So it's exciting. We learned a lot. We shared our experience to NGOs, to civil societies. So this is a good model which we have started with Scalabrini.
What will you bring back to Sweden when you're coming back? Or you have new ideas, and do you have met new colleagues here that you can work together with, Cecilia?
Absolutely. That's the fascinating things when you meet people and colleagues. It was so interesting, like you said, because I think we could have much more deepened discussions. We could have more workshops. We could have actually an agenda to what do we do together forward. Because I agree, the issues you have in South Africa or in Africa, we do have in other parts of the world. So we need to share the best experience and practice and so forth. So we are now already thinking about next year, when the South African and Swedish University Forum is taking place in Sweden, that we work together here. We can make a commitment already here now that we see if we can actually deepen this conversation that we had today, expand it to a workshop, invite also, I think, stakeholders that are powerful in policy making. So that is my suggestion. Very optimistic, but it would be great if we could say that we make a commitment for this for the next year's meeting. I give over to you, because I know you are eager to.
I think this will be a good, positive development, because when we think about migration issues in Africa, yes, we are grappling with a number of things. For example, regional integration issues. At times, the tension between state policies and regional policies. But if we interact with, say, your university, we can tap on some of your experiences, because you've been part of a regional organization that has achieved quite a lot. But also, I think it's an opportunity for us to share some of the different experiences. There are certain things that seem to be unique to our continent, and also things which have been unique to yours. So it can only be exciting.
What do you say, Professor? You also have good thinking about making more projects like this together with Sweden and other universities in South Africa also?
I concur with various ideas here. We have Sanod, for instance. Sanod is a good framework. I mean, provide a framework for collaboration. Sanod, for Southern Africa, the office is here, and it's based also in Nordic countries. We have also the Nordic Africa Institute, Uppsala University, and last year there was a big conference on migration and mobility, same theme. So these are things that we can carry on and develop, because just bilateral is not enough. We need to look at it from a multilateral perspective, many countries involved. And also, like the theme of the symposium, involving the non-organization actors, because I still believe that the different facets of knowledge can come from there. And then when mixed with the academic knowledge, and it creates a bust or a boom or whatever. So I think the thing that we have started here, are not started, but just revived in terms of academic and non-academic, if that divide is useful. But the thing is, we need to foster this coming together. You know, academic or academia cannot solve all the problems. Thanks.
Yeah. It's been really interesting talking to you, but I know that some of you are going back now with a bus to Stellenbosch, and I hope we'll see you later there. But I just want you, because you are from the NGOs, to have the last word in this discussion. What do you think? Do the academics, do they realize that they can learn a lot from your organization and other NGOs?
Yeah, I think that's also one of the things we were saying this morning. We must fight against stereotypes, prejudices, and I don't think academics are not locked in an ivory tower making their researches. They are able to listen, they want to, and also all NGOs and all those who are working in the field want to give their contribution. I think that the migration is so interdisciplinary and wide picture that we need the contribution of all of us to realize how we can portray migrants, migration, and how we can support policies, and also how we can support, I think, a shift of mindset in society to make migrants active and positive subject of our life. Thank you.
Great. It sounds that hope and that we together can solve a lot of the sustainable development goals together, all of us. Yeah. I wish you luck and see you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.